Hold on to your butt cheeks. Elden Ring is here. How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great and amazing, majestical video with your boy, the Savior. That's right, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, which is highly likely, please consider subscribing. That would mean a great deal to me. I make all kinds of videos on this channel. And if you do enjoy this video, just make sure that you do subscribe for a chance for a shout out. And also check out my music on Spotify. So join this community for some moist and fantastical content, and I will be sure to not disappoint you. Welcome to my review of The Elden Ring, which I am so happy and excited about because I've been waiting for this game for a very long time, and I think many people have, and I really want to make this review as spoiler free as possible because I've seen some other YouTubers who have done their Elden Ring review early, and I really dislike it because they show off footage, from their own footage, which is fine, but the problem is, with this type of game, you don't want any spoilers. You don't want anything that the company, the studio, hasn't already provided, in my opinion. You want to go in as blind as possible. The whole point of a From Software game is about the experience, is about the journey, is about the surprises and the adventure that you have. And if you see early footage, then it's just going to ruin that experience for you. So that's why I'm only showing footage provided by the developers. So it's going to be completely spoiler free. And I'm just going to tell you why Elden Ring is fantastic, why Elden Ring is a masterpiece in my opinion, and why Elden Ring is probably one of the best games. So before I get into my review of Elden Ring and discuss this Elden Ring review, I just want to quickly say that I'm actually relatively new to From Software games. I'm relatively a newbie, okay, a little bit of a virgin when it comes to From Software, okay. I actually only recently popped my cherry with Dark Souls. Now I have actually played all of From Software games, but only recently I actually went back and played Dark Souls Remastered and finished it, and that's because I've tried so many times to get into these games, but for me, I could never quite get into it, or I never had the patience. It wasn't so much the fact that it was so difficult, but it was just because it had so many complicated systems in place, and I just didn't want to put in the time and effort to learn that. But then a couple of months ago, like I said, I replayed Dark Souls, and I'm so glad I did because I have finally found a game that I really love and a community that I really care about within gaming that are actually respectable, helpful, although sometimes a little bit evil. I finally rekindled that love for gaming, and I'm coming from a perspective where I've made so many videos talking about the modern day gaming industry and why it sucks, the problem with the modern day gaming industry, how these open world games are destroying gaming now, and these developers have become so greedy and cynical, and all of these horrible practices within our games like microtransactions, all of these hand-holdy mechanics like X-ray vision, and this bloated open world design that we see so many developers using now. I just feel like modern day gaming has become so predictable, so formulaic, and there's never enough innovation within the gaming industry, and usually it can be completely broken and unfinished. And it's just so disgusting to see that corporations and these companies don't care about the creative image anymore. They only care about sales, they only care about money, they only care about pushing an idea for what a game should be, but not what it actually is in reality, and that's the problem. So in the last couple of years, I've really basically not been that into gaming, and when I do play a game, I play older games like from the PlayStation 2 or from the PS3 or just some old vintage games on my PC. I rarely ever get into a modern day game nowadays because I just find them all so boring. I used to be, waking up early in the morning, sitting myself down in front of the TV and playing Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter or Sly Cooper or, any of these games that I absolutely loved as a kid, and it made me realize why I love gaming. And I haven't felt that, for a very long time, not since Fallout 3 or Skyrim or Fallout New Vegas. You know, there's very few games that do that for me, and Dark Souls really just rekindled that magic for me. So I'm so thankful that I found Dark Souls. So just to get that out of the way, so I am going to be a little bit biased when it comes to From Software, because I really do think they are a magical developer, not made specifically for profit or for pushing some kind of agenda, a political agenda or something like that. I'm just glad that over in the East, in Japan, they haven't been completely corrupted, and I just really love From Software games, and I think all of their games are amazing. And like I said, I absolutely love Dark Souls, the original. So why is Elden Ring so amazing? Why is Elden Ring a masterpiece? And if you've never played a Souls game, you may be wondering, is this game really gonna be for me? Should I try this? And I would say yes. Okay, this is probably the best time for you to ever jump into a From Software game. They are notoriously difficult. The people who really love Dark Souls almost sound a little bit like hipsters or like gatekeepers. But the thing is, it's because this franchise is so special, and a lot of people are never gonna experience this because the casual gamer, the people who play Spider-Man or From Horizon, or, you know, just kind of casual gamers, they would never really want to put in the time and effort. And that's the big thing, not time, but effort that it takes to play one of these games. But if they did, they would realize that actually all of the other games that they've played is basically trash in compared to a From Software game. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm serious, because as I've got hooked into Dark Souls in the last couple of months, I literally can't play another game because nothing gives you the same satisfaction, the same reward. No other game you play actually makes you feel proud of yourself and proud of what you're doing and how you're using your time, I feel anyway. Otherwise, when I play a normal game, a casual game, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. But From Software create this wonderful universe, rich with lore, rich with detail, rich with history. There aren't any mechanics that hold your hand, that try and tell you how you should experience the game or experience this world. It's all up to you as the player, as the individual, to make sense of this world and this digital landscape, and I just think that is truly magical. So I was a little bit worried that Elden Ring would be slightly destroyed by going open world, but thankfully the open world in this is just incredible. Now, a lot of people have been comparing this to Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I can see why, because that isn't too handholdy either, and that did kind of try and innovate the open world genre, and I feel like this does a way better job, and I'm just so thankful that we can actually have good open world games. It's not the fact that open world games suck, it's just the fact that the developers making these open world games all seem to think that they have to follow the same generic, you know, checkboard list, that they just have to check off these different features. It's gotta have a mini-map, it's gotta have endless little side objectives and quests that don't matter or don't even make any sense. They seem to think you have to have some kind of magical tower that you have to climb to unlock the map, and, you know, it's just so cluttered and so stale, and it's so creatively bankrupt, most of these open world games, because they just fill it with stuff that you don't actually ever want to spend your time doing. It's just there to look like it's busy, to look like, wow, we have so much content, but actually most of it is just, like I said, very boring, just not very inspired, and just lazy. And they all have the same mechanics, they all have the same systems in place. Now, this is how an open world game should be, because within Elden Ring, the open world is just amazing. Most games, open world games, like to show you exactly where to go, or look over here, this is where you're gonna find the next great thing to discover. It's clearly highlighted on your map, or it's just obvious within the world as you're exploring. But the Elden Ring is completely opposite. But Elden Ring basically tries to hide all of these amazing discoveries instead of highlighting them for the player, and that makes, you know, adventuring and exploring just so much more rewarding. And it's not a massive open world. like so many other games where it's just so boring to explore because there's nothing in them. They fill the open world with so many things, so many interesting and unique encounters or dungeons that are exactly like a level from Dark Souls. The sense of discovery is just like nothing else I found in an open world game, and even open world games that I love like Skyrim, like Fallout New Vegas, or Ghost of Tsushima. You know, those games are still, although they are great in my opinion, they still follow the same kind of traps, and it's even more obvious within, you know, kind of trashy open world games like Dying Light or Assassin's Creed, because the Elden Ring doesn't focus on amazing graphics or long cinematic storytelling within cutscenes. The Elden Ring focuses on exactly what gaming should be focused on, which is making a brilliant game and a brilliant world space to actually explore and enjoy and discover, because pretty much everywhere that you go within the open world has a unique discovery. Every time you discover someplace, it's always going to have some kind of reward for you, and not many open world games can pull that off, and I think the Elden Ring does an amazing job. The reason why I say the Elden Ring is fantastic and why my review for the Elden Ring is going to be so high is because not only is it the world space that's amazing, you know, the artistry, the design of this game is just absolutely breathtaking. You know, From Software are always so amazing at creating really interesting worlds, and with the direction of George R.R. Martin. Now, in many ways, like I said, Dark Souls is brutally difficult, okay? And Elden Ring is actually slightly easier because it's open-ended. Basically, it means you don't have to actually fight every single boss that you come across or an area that you are finding very difficult. You can just basically go and come back later and, you know, level up your character, get better equipment, and then come back. This is probably one of the easiest Souls games out there because it basically just gives you so much choice and so much freedom, and not only with how you interact with enemies, but how you build your character, how you play. They've added so many new mechanics that make it feel so fresh but yet so familiar to the fans of Dark Souls, because the way you can play this game is just endless. You can be a samurai, you can be a dual-wielding badass, or you can be a tactical, sneaky thief or archer. You can be a super overpowered mage. And I really loved the magic within Dark Souls, but it does feel quite limiting. In fact, that's how I like to play with my character in Dark Souls, is by being a mage slash knight, by being a heavy armored knight but who uses magic. That's how I like to play, and with Elden Ring they've built so much more complexity within the magic system, which is just so great to see. Now you can actually conjure and summon, you know, different types of enemies to fight alongside you, which is so cool because I really love that within Skyrim, you know, how you could basically conjure different types of enemies to fight alongside you. It's still very aggressive like Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne, not so much like Dark Souls 1, but it is still very tactical, and I really like that. It's also the small details, okay? The thing that make the Souls games so amazing to me is the small details as well. It's the ambience, it's the atmosphere, almost like you've been sucked into one of these worlds like the Lord of the Rings, and the ambience and the atmosphere is just so rich. The music has always been amazing with the Souls games, and here it's just so well done, so well composed, and very varied within its locations. I just think this game is really what the gaming industry needs right now. You can't exactly put it into words just how amazing From Software and the Soulsborne games, and how amazing the Soulsborne games really are. You really have to give it a try for yourself, and I think the Elden Ring is the perfect time to try and experience this type of game if you've never done it before, because it's just the combination of all the previous games into this amazing and unique and just breathtaking world that they've designed. It won't hold your hand, it's going to be difficult, but you'll be rewarded and you'll feel good about yourself if you put the time and effort in, because it sounds corny in a way, but you actually discover almost who you are as a person by playing these games, because this character that you play as really becomes you. Because there aren't any hand holding mechanics, this really does make it feel like this is an adventure that you're going on, that this isn't just a game, and that's what makes this so special. So that's my review of the Elden Ring, and I really think it's amazing. It's great to see that something can still live up to the hype, and I hope that you check it out. And let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.